Hey everyone. So today I wanted to give an update on the rock, paper, scissors game I've been working on. So the rock, paper, scissors game uses subgigahertz to communicate between two flippers. In my case, I currently only still have one flipper, so I'm using the hack RF1 to simulate the second flipper. I'm also looking at using a CC1101 to make an external device that could also play this game. All right, let's get on to the demo. Okay, so we're going to launch the game. So the game is currently using all custom UI and custom input code. I want to switch it over to using scenes and modules, which I previously had called components. One of the modules that exists is a text input module, which would allow us to go down to edit message and be able to type in a new message. And we could also use the menu, the submenu module, to be able to choose what kind of message this is. Like, is this your Facebook or your YouTube or your Discord that you're sharing? So you go in and you'll be able to say, I want to host a game. You can pick the frequencies that you want to host on. If the frequency isn't available in your region, it tells you it's not available. So in this way, both flippers can agree on a common frequency. And then the host will pick the game number that they want to broadcast at. And then when they say okay, at this point, it's beaconing out a signal. And so now on the second flipper, let me switch over to going into there. The second flipper is going to go to join, and they're going to pick the same frequency. And again, if they're on a frequency not available in the region, they'll see it's not available. So you'll both pick a frequency that's available. And now the first flipper would send out that beacon. So I'm sending a beacon on my hack RF right now. And so then you'll be able to see the game numbers that are beaconed out, and you'll be able to go left and right between the games that are broadcast on that frequency. And then once you have a game you want, you're going to say, okay, and that's going to join the game. Once you do this join, the other flipper is going to send a join acknowledge. So let's go back over to the host. They had a frequency, they had a game, they were waiting. So now we're going to send our join. There's our join. We saw that join message, and so the game starts. On the other person that was here, again, they had the beacon. They said okay to join, and then they got back the join ACK from the first flipper. Okay, because I only have one flipper, I've only made a file that contains me pressing the OK button twice on the virtual flipper. So I'm going to go ahead and run that. And then on this flipper, we're going to press our OK, OK, and then rock, paper, or scissor. And so you see that it says you lost, and there's also different song or little notes that get played at the end based on if you've won, lost, or tied. At the end of a game, the results go into your past games. And so when you go into that, you'll see the timestamp of when you last played the game. And then you'll see how many times you've won, how many times you've lost, and how many times you've tied. You'll see the name of their flipper, and then you'll see either that they're sharing their name, or they're sharing their Facebook, or they're sharing their YouTube, or whatever, the Discord, the social aspect. And then you'll see the message that they've typed in under that type. And then if you go left and right, you'll be able to see these are made up other flipper names. You'll be able to see other flipper names. And in this case, they were sharing a tiny URL that was this URL, or a TikTok, etc. So again, the remaining work is mostly around rewriting this to use a scene manager, and then adding edit message so that the user can choose the kind of message that they want to transmit when they've hosted or joined a game. And then once I have a second flipper, I'll be able to kind of fine tune gameplay as well to make sure that it's entertaining. I hope you've enjoyed this update on the game. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below.